Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Darkpool Algo, and thanks for joining me on another weekend watch list building session. Today is Saturday, August 7th, 2021, and I'd like to take a moment to kind of go over a couple things. First of all, I use the Smart Money, Darkpool, and Block Trade algorithm software provided by FlowTrade. Now, if you haven't had your trial yet, or if you haven't signed up, I'm just going to remind you one more time, this is something I use every single day. I look, see what the market makers are doing, see what they've done, rather than looking and seeing what's happened in the past. So I'm going to put a link in the description. If you haven't already got one, go get signed up. Go get signed up. I'm in there every day. Ask questions, take training, just learn as much as you can, because once it clicks, you'll really understand that we're seeing what happens before it happens, okay? So it helps us find stocks that are going to do things in the upcoming week, not things that have already happened. So large institutions are buying, hedge funds are buying and selling when the market is selling, or vice versa, right? So, you always hear about Cathie Wood's selling into runs, right? Or buying into dips, right? We're able to see when that divergence occurs, right? And also where that expected divergence is going to play out, right? Get yourself a trial every day. You're going to learn something, right? Ask the questions, go through the training. It's really a game changer. We're able to see, here's the difference, right? All right. Everybody talks about stochastics, MACD, RSI, volume oscillators, Fibonacci, support resistance, EMAs, SMAs, VWAP. Those are all very common terms that you hear every single day, and as a trader, that's what you learn. You learn to play and what's dependent on what's happened in the past. You're looking at the past to predict what's happening in the future, right? And while it works to a degree, wouldn't you like to be able to know, hey, this stock is at support at this point? Hedge funds, market movers, $1 million companies are buying into this dip, right? There's strong bullish divergence. They've been buying for the last 2 weeks, while the market, while price action's been fighting its way down. We're at a serious support level. There's strong divergence from 3 or 4 days ago, right? Add that to basic other technical analysis, and you can be like, wow, I know that this stock's going to move at least to where that divergence occurred. So we're showing what the market makers are doing. It's a predictive leading indicator. It's not reactive like the old school, all of the ones I've already mentioned. So before we jump into it, take a moment, get the link, sign up, get your free trial, get going on that. Pause, don't leave the video, but, just make sure that's one of the things that you're going to do today, okay? With that being said, I'll ask in return if you hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share it with your friends, families, neighbors, and coworkers, right? It really does help me out, help small content creators out, and that's what we're doing. I'm here for you. I'm here to make sure that you have every opportunity you can to get up into that beast and get your little, your little piece of the pie. So with that being said, let's jump right into it right after this intro. Okay. I don't have a whole lot of time. It is the weekend. My kids are out of school for the first week, so I can't be in front of a computer all day or bad things happen. Right? So with that being said, I'm going to jump right in, and we're going to start off with AMD. Oh, goodness. So AMD has got, excuse me, it's got a little bit of divergence. It's just been on such a powerful tear lately. I feel like it's got a good chart set up. Let me pull up. As well as it's got some nice divergence happening, right? Hold on, let me look at it. Was it AMD or was it something else? I went through about 20 or 30 of these this morning.
Tell you what, let me just go through the process of what I do. So what I'll do is I'll pull up tickers that are at a good support resistance area, and I will run them through the algo checker, right, to see if there's any good divergence. Billy's got great divergence, right? ENPH, somewhat good divergence. NetEase has got pretty decent divergence, right? I'm going to make a shorter list on this. Billy, NetEase. So we'll look at pets, THC, AI, ATVI. Pets has got kind of decent divergence. THC, not so much. AI, I like AI. And then ATVI, I like ATVI as well. So ATVI. Usually this list I'll get like 20 or 30 out of this list. And then from that, I will it down to about 5 for the weekend watch list. And then I just keep the rest on a list that I watch throughout the week for any news, any expected moves, anything like that. Not super thrilled about any of those. Ended up with PDD. POSH. PayPal. Work. Ads. Right. POSH has got pretty decent divergence, right? So we'll throw that on here. Looking for PayPal to make a continuation on ADS. I kind of like the Upwork one. We'll just have to see what happens with the algo. I'm going to go ahead and put this in. So I've got a primary and a secondary list. And what I'm doing with that is I'll go through and look for super strong divergence. If I find some, I will either write a blog post on it. I'll put it out in the weekend watch list. I'll do a quick video on it. There's lots of things I did. Post it out on Twitter, right? FSLY looks good. Fiverr-ish. GDX, definitely feel like it's got an opportunity to move, making higher lows and higher highs. Algo's buying. MGA, not super thrilled with that. Definitely GDX. FSLY. I just feel like Fiverr's got such upside potential. I'm just going to keep it on there anyway. All right. MGA, pins, ELO, and GBT, right? Bitcoin play. ELO, there we go. GBT to the downside, obviously. VLO, just going to continue to pull price action up with it. And pins, like I think this is, yeah, it's not really played out. So we're going to leave pins off of the list. So out of the original list, we're going to take pins off of there. Check out ENPH one more time, just because I feel like I heard something about that earlier in the week, and we want to make sure we take advantage of it. We're going to leave ENPH off. All right, so we're going to add Upwork, POSH, AI, Billy, or NTES, ATVI, and Billy. So the list is now about double what it used to be, and that's okay, right? And then I'm just going to run through these one more time, making sure that I choose the best ones. So that's Etsy, FSLY, GDX, Work. ATVI POSH. Definitely POSH. I'm slowly whittling it down. GDX for sure. I think gold will turn around this week. FSLY. So now it's really down to the last four, which is ATVI, NetEase, Billy. Upwork is not necessarily, I mean, I feel like Billy's weird. We're going to go Billy, ATVI. I like those guys. All right, so now I've got a list of six. List of six that I'm going to focus on, and then I've got a list of about 10 that I'll keep an eye on for movement throughout the week. All right, so out of these ones, I'm going to go ahead and so POSH, AI, GDX, FSLY. So for the purposes of this video, I'm only going to go through four, maybe five. And typically what I'll do is I'll drop the block trades down to a more reasonable level, usually around 10 days. All right. 10 days seems to be pretty decent. Sometimes 12, right? All right, starting in the upper left corner, I've got POSH. I always take a second to see what's going on with the Keltner channels and any sort of support and resistance, right? So we've got a nice double bottom here on the daily. Double bottom on the daily, we could retrace to, 38 or 40, which would be VWAP or VWAP highest volume or point of control highest volume, which puts us right back in the kind of the middle of things. Why don't I have? Oh, the weekly. Hold on, let me get this back down to the daily. There we go. I thought it was missing some things. Actually, the weekly looked pretty decent, didn't it? Double bottom off the weekly. Could be good. All right, so nice cup and handle forming on the 15-minute chart. Stacked positive moving averages are up above the 50, below the 200. We've got room to move. Let me just see where our Keltner channels are at. Right, we've got the daily bottom coming in at 38, 34 or 48. So what I'll do is I'm just going to run a channel 3450 to 3550. I've got a preset 3450 to 3550. All right, 3550. So kind of in the daily cloud there. I'd like to see it get above 3550 or possibly 36. So we definitely need to get above this $36 level, which is the 4-hour mid, right? So I've got a 4-hour mid here. Let's mark that there. All right. So for me, a break above 36 and we continue to run. Also throw on some Fibonacci real quick just to see, from previous high to low. This gives me target. All right, so it looks like we break into the 382. We can run up to 37 and then 38. If we reject off of that level, then we'll look to play it back down to the downside. We would draw a trend line and see what this channel looks like for the breakout back down to the downside. Okay. All right, so looks pretty decent. Double bottoming on, double bottom on the daily. Look for a reversal. We got to get up above into, basically back up into the dailies for our mid, right? For a move to the 4-hour top or potentially the daily mid. Okay. The algo is doing a good job for us. We've got some strong net buying. Right, the algo's pretty much been buying. We have a little divergence that has occurred here. Right, where it looks like we may have found a bottom. We definitely have, right, kind of a longer term. Falling wedge breakout. Right, just broke out of that falling wedge. Don't even have any block trades that are going to, run into, cause us any grief. We do have, got to figure out a good color for resistance. Like maybe orange. Yeah, I think orange is good, right? So break of that, and I see it's, whoa, hello. Right, we got to break that level and then continue on to the upside. So that was POSH. Let's look at this one more time. So move up to 36 resistance. Break above for a run up to 38 to 41. Right? There's no reason why we can't come back up and test, at least the 34 or the 21, so 39.40. So this is gonna be our target levels. Right. At least targeting in that level there, right? Don't believe there's any earnings coming up. Oh, we do have earnings. All right, so they have earnings on the 10th, which would be Tuesday. So we've got to be careful about that. I'm thinking maybe an after earnings run. Regardless, volatility is going to be pretty high. So if we got options, we'd have to go at least 2 weeks out, right? So we have earnings this week. Get options a couple weeks out because of ATVI crush. So higher implied volatility means that the options are not going to move as well. So let's say you bought the $40 call, a Delta $70, $40 call this week. Since it's got such high IV, the stock would have to move to probably 50 to get the same benefit as if you were to buy 1-2 weeks out that has lower IV. So with that, just keep that in mind. Okay. When looking at these, I probably should have ran these through an earnings scanner first. Let me just check on some things here real quick, making sure the rest of these don't have earnings this week. All right, so AI, I think we're good. GDX, I think we're good. ATVI just had earnings, so we're good there. Billy has earnings coming up at the end of the week, possibly next week, and then FSLY just had earnings, so I think we're good with that one. So POSH is really the only one that we're going to have to pay attention to. Let's look at FSLY. AI is next on our list. Okay, so AI over here in the right-hand corner. So what we're seeing is continuation of continuation buying, right? So it's been buying for the last couple weeks. We've got a little bit of divergence that's already played out. Let me just mark that out. Basically, this divergence has already played out, so we're looking to play into this one. What did I do there? Let's try this again. So nice strong uptrending move, little bit of a falling wedge. So we're going to be definitely looking for that falling wedge breakout. Right, looking for that falling wedge breakout. What I do like is what this algo is doing here. So if we can get up and above that wedge, right, We can come test some of these previous highs. Test that one there, and definitely this one here. So AI, what I want to do is pull that up over here on my charts, and we'll check it out. Looking over on the left-hand side, yeah, it's just been kind of slowly sloping off. We have a nice double, triple bottom that's formed here. Consolidation, squeeze consolidation. MACD's starting to make a little bit of a move back to the upside. If we were traced to, VWAP or the 50-day, that puts us at the $59, $60 target level. Even a retracement to the 34 gives us a $54 level. So we've got room to move back to some of these previous levels. All right, so I want to check my fib levels. All right, so AI is, so it looks like it just came off the bottom of the dailies and the 4-hour celts at 48.24. So daily clouds at 48.24. Right. This is a daily cloud. 4-hour bottom is, where's the 4-hour bottom? So 4-hour daily bottom is at 48.25. So pretty much the support level here. All right, we'll just call it that. So there's our support. We've got a little bit of overhead resistance at 48.96 and then 51. So 48.96. $48.96 is the 4-hour mid, right? And then we've got the 4-hour cloud at 51 to 52. And I didn't do the top. So what did I say? From 48 to 51? Or 51 to, I'll just call it 51. So basically what we're going to look to play is, maybe this move here. All right, we'll try to get into that. If we break above that, then obviously 51 becomes a nice target. 51, 52, 52, 50, 53, which is all pretty decent. We've got a supply zone target. Right, so I'm looking to play the move from here, a reversal curling over, MACD curling over on the daily, coming up, testing the 21 EMA at 52.50, then testing previous highs at 54, on our way up into this supply zone that's kind of begging for us to come back up into, right? Point of control, supply zone, VWAP, point of control. This whole area here is going to be the target, right? So with that being said, we're looking for this falling wedge breakout for the move to the upside. Watch the algo continues to pull us up. All right, that was AI. I'm gonna have to go through and rewrite these later, just in the interest of time. I don't have a whole lot of time on this Zoom meeting. So next was GDX. All right, so gold had a massive sell-off just because of the way the market moved last week. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it. We've got pretty much longer term net buying. We've got some regular and dark pool levels that are going to affect us. I use white whenever the dark pool and the regular block trade level are so close to each other that I can't get a clean reading on it, right? So we've got a combined dark pool and regular block trade level at about 35, right? We've got a regular level at 34. We've got overhead resistance coming in That's some regular block trade levels at 33.41 and 33.05. That's our support. We're currently resting at a dark pool level, which came in at 33.28. So, right, we need to get through some of this kind of stuff. But what I do like is what the algo and what price action is doing. Price action's making higher lows and higher highs, right? So rising wedge, the algorithms curled up on bouncing off of block trade resistance or support and continuing to make a move to the upside. So GDX is I just got a reading for where some of my levels are. All right, so we've got weekly mid, daily cloud. Daily cloud runs from 33 or 32.50. So it's a 50-cent cloud. So daily cloud runs from 32. Runs from about here. So there's my daily cloud. I've got a weekly mid. Is that what this is? Sorry, I got my weekly mid coming in at 32.68. All right, we got a weekly mid there, just roundabout. Weekly mid, and then we've got a 4-hour top at 33.80. So basically that's the 4-hour bottom. So what we're looking to do is move back up to the 4-hour bottom, break through, and a move continuing to the upside. Let's see. I think that, do I have we have a monthly at, right, the mid. I just discovered this in TrendSpider that you can do that. It's pretty sick. So definitely monthly mids to target 34.50. You know, on the daily, right? We bounced off the 382. If we can continue to hold this support area and for a move back to the upside, contrarian, we break down, we got to come back down and test, 31. But I'd like to see a reversal getting above point of control at 33.50 is going to be kind of a pain. So it would be this level here. All right, that's going to be our point of control. Somewhere in there. All right, so we can get above that. We've got to come up and test the 4-hour bottom. Break through that, we come up and test the monthly mid. So with the target of 34.50, Fibonacci from high to low lines up with exactly what I'm looking for, right? Retracement to the 382. So our target for GDX is that's our initial target for GDX. Probably move that back over. Let's see, what's the expiration this week? The 13th. Yeah, so there's our target for GDX. All right, next one was FSLY. FSLY was great. I caught the bottom of this move and ran this up. These contracts went from $1 to like $4 in 2 hours. So that was a pretty nice play. Patience. It was the only play, one of the 2 plays I made this week. Just nothing really looked super good. And, with the choppy markets that we've had lately, that's, you trade less, right? Catch good plays, trade less. So nice strong uptrend, massive sell-off after earnings, came back down, tested block trade support at 34.50. Nice clean bounce off of there, right? On its way back up, we ran into some dark pool levels coming in at 38.50. We're going to use that as one target, and then 40.98 or 41. That's currently what we're using as support. Now, from what I can see, it looks as if though we've got a gap to fill, right? And then we've got this previous low resistance right at about 47. So the move from 41 to 45 is going to be strong, and then potential move from 45 to 47. All right, so that's what the algo is telling us. Let's look at see what the charts are telling us. They may tell us something completely different. All right, so not sure what I have this level here for. We're going to get rid of it because I'm not sure what it is. Oh. All right. So we sold off. We ran into that support. Let's see what happened here. All right. Massive sell-off. Found some support. This must be a previous low from back in the day. Came back up, tested the 4-hour bottom. We're in the weekly cloud. Chopping around in the weekly cloud, trying to get up and through the 4-hour bottom. We finally broke through the 4-hour bottom. Now we need to test this significant level here, this $43 level. Weekly bottom. We are weekly cloud, weekly bottom cloud top, daily bottom, 4-hour mid, right? That's a mouthful. So we've got to get that marked up because it's going to be pretty significant, right? So 43 to 44.50. So 43 even? Yeah, close enough. So 43 to 44.50. All right, there's my daily cloud. I've got a weekly. What is this one? Let's call it a weekly. A weekly mid. Why do I have two of them? Daily, 4-hour, weekly. Well, I need a monthly. Sorry. Should have done all this before I started, but that's how it works sometimes. All right, now we have a monthly mid. All right, so the weekly cloud is right in there, right? Right in this $43 level too. All right, so that's the daily cloud. So that's a daily cloud bottom. So we're trying to get back up and through this to continue the move to the upside. We're just consolidating congestion, moving average congestion. We've got VWAP at 46.24, which is previous lows. 46.24 is a 4-hour top. Right, so let me just mark these levels. 46 to 47, basically. So 46. Right. It's a 4-hour bottom. Or not, it's a 4-hour top. right? So what we're trying to do is move back into the 4 hours, right? We get back above this 4-hour top, right? And then we can start moving back up into the dailies and, a little higher back up, higher up, right? Retest to the 21 EMA, the 34 at 50, right? 50 is a nice solid target. Right? 53 was previous high. We've got 51 there, previous lows right at 45. So like I said, this low is going to be major congestion. So I'm going to go ahead and put a line there. Just stating that, well, that's just a supply zone. Let's just make it a supply zone. So we've got a supply zone, 4-hour bottom, or 4-hour top, trying to get into the daily cloud, right? So the move from 41 to 45 is going to be pretty significant. I feel like Fibonacci is going to let us know. Should be pretty close to it as well. Yeah, Fibonacci is a little off. When it's off like this, I try to have a tendency to just maybe move it back up to where it makes sense. It's where it's a little bit more lined up. Fib's not perfect, but this looks pretty decent, right? So we retested the 382, rejected off it again. We're coming up to test it again. However, we're going to be above the 200 SMA, get back up into the weekly mid, daily cloud. So this is going to be a strong move if we can get up into there. Contrarian, if we reject off of there, then I feel like we're going to continue to come down even further than we were before, right? It looks like there's a trend line that could be, you could argue that there's a trend line. Let's just see what trends say. And trends are saying up. I feel like there is, I think we could get, that's pretty significant, right? Pretty solid base. So if we reject off of this level, definitely have an opportunity for us to come all the way back. What? That's not what I wanted. That was a different type of arrow. Lame. Still getting used to trend spider. We could easily do one of these. That's a very real possibility. Or we could break through it and continue to move back up. So there's two ways there. Watch for either a breakthrough of this level, right, that we've been talking about, 43 to 45. Clean bullish move would be waiting for a break of 40s, a break above the supply zone for a move back up to the 50, 52, 56, right? So that was FSLY both ways. Let's check the last one on our list. We already went through them. I'm going to look at ATVI and then I got to shut this down. So ATVI. I like this because I feel like it's just going to continue to drag price action up with it. Lots of block trades have been coming in, so I'm just cutting them back down to the last 4. All right, the algo is essentially pretty much net buying. All right, nice strong move. It's dragging price action with it. So we've got a little bit of a wedge breakout, right, that we're looking to have happen. We've got regular block trades and dark pool levels that are providing support and resistance. We've got regular block trade target 83.38. Support a regular block trade at 81.52. We got a dark pool level 82.20. Right? So we can get up and above this 83.38. I feel like we can really start moving to the upside. I like the algo being curled up like this. That's an indication that a potential continuation move, right? So previous high resistance, obviously, always going to be a factor. This looks like it's going to be pretty much a demand zone. So we're going to have to look out for that level. Looking at ATVI on the charts. All right. So the move to point of control puts us up at 90. VWAP highest volume is also interesting at 88. Right. Let me just go ahead and. All right. So we've got a lot of overhead resistance to get through. Not super thrilled about, actually. Daily cloud, weekly cloud, 4-hour top. That's pretty significant resistance. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. So just tread lightly when it comes to ATVI. We got the daily cloud running from 82.50 to 83.72. Right, basically daily cloud runs from here. Right, so we got a daily cloud, we've got a monthly. Where's the 4-hour bottom? 84 to 85. So the 4-hour bottom is 84.50 to 85. Basically what I'm saying is that whenever we see this much overhead resistance, right, we have a tendency to reject off of it rather than break through it, unless we get a massive move like this. So just either a squeeze releases, like what happened here, that squeeze released, we got to get propelled through it. But once we get through those levels, I think that we could maybe retrace to the 34, which is a VWAP 88 level. And then obviously the weekly, which is weekly is just 83.70 to 86. That's pretty massive. We're going to call that demand zone, or excuse me, supply zone. Pretty much. Right. That looks like a lot of overhead resistance. I'm going to check the algo one more time. I don't believe the algo's got enough juice in it to get us through that. However, it might. I mean, stranger things have happened. This move here last December was pretty significant, right? So yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on ATVI. Possible play to the downside. I don't know. ATVI is going to be a little tricky. I might just go ahead and take that off the list. Yeah, I'm going to pull ATVI off the list. Look at Billy real quick. I'm going to keep it on the list, obviously, but we'll just maybe find a better play. Maybe find a better play. For some reason, I like Upwork. What does it look like? I mean, it's got some work to do to get back into good levels as well. How about fiber on a chart? Okay, so fiber, I'm going to go ahead and do fiber. And let me tell you why. This is why I'm going to do fiber. All right. I like this gap that it's got to fill. I like that it's starting to retrace. I like that the algo is making a W Wu-Tang reversal sign, right? Yeah, it's got a lot of cool things going on, in my opinion. Let's just do this. First, we've got the algo making a higher lows, right? And we can anticipate a potential higher high, right? The algo is also making my little favorite right? The algo is making my little favorite Wu-Tang pattern reversal. Yeah. Right? We've got gap to fill. Whoa, wrong tool. Right? We've got a gap to fill. So let's just check it out. Fiber. So even if we do use the weekly bottom, 163.86. $163.86. So even if we do come, how is this a weekly mid? Let's make it weekly bottom. Maybe do a weekly bottom cloud over here too. So weekly bottom support, right? If we have to come down and tip tap this 1.8, I actually like this demand zone. Like we may come down and tip top off of 157, but if we do, then we're going to retrace pretty hard. Nice, good demand zone there. Got that gap to fill up to 196, which is going to be our supply zone. While it's a micro supply zone, it's still a supply zone. It's a pretty long running one too. Right, that's a pretty significant supply zone. So we've got demand supply, right? A weekly bottom support. We've got daily cloud that runs from 195 to 202. Daily cloud from 195 to 202. So daily cloud, let me throw some fibs on here. Watch how symmetrical this thing lines up. Right, nice symmetry in this area in the 618. 205 would be the target. Let's see what else we got here. What does 205 put us at? 205 puts us above the daily cloud on the way to weekly mid at 212. Is that right? Weekly mid. So we got the weekly mid, which is good, right? Do you see what I'm doing here? I'm starting to layer my factors of, why I like this as a move back to the upside. So we got a 4-hour Keltner channel from 193 to 197. These are big moves, right? I don't know if the options are going to be the greatest. So 193, 197. right? For our bottom. What else we got here? Daily bottom for our bottom. So look for a retracement back to that, which is also a retracement to the 382 from high to low on the Keltner channel, or excuse me, on the Fibonacci. We've got a demand zone support coming in at 160, 162. So that's down in this area. And this is supposed to there's no time frame below. Demand zone, right? There we go. For some reason, it didn't come through the first time. Wanted to make sure I got that in there. The supply zone, 195. What? Supply zone. Sorry. There we go. So we've got some targets. We've got a supply zone. We got a daily cloud top. We've got a 200 SMA. We've got the 4-hour bottom, right? Which all lines up with a move to VWAP, highest point of control. So this looks pretty good for Fiverr. And I think that's it. Thanks for joining me. My name is Dark Pelago, and I'll look forward to speaking with you all next week. Have a good one. Stay green. Make sure you like this video. Thumbs up, like, and subscribe.